Let's turn to CBS's Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent, Margaret Brennan. All right, Margaret, I look at those protests in the street across the Middle East, and I wonder, what is President Biden saying to some of these Arab leaders? Is he sharing that intelligence? What's their reaction?
Yes, and the president spoke on that flight back with Egypt's president about all of this. But keep in mind, the U.S. has a credibility problem in this region of the world when it comes to U.S. intelligence conclusions. And President Biden referenced today the mistakes made by the U.S. after 9/11, when decisions were made too swiftly and based on rage. And that is likely a reference to the invasion of Iraq. He did call for respect for the law of armed conflict and to minimize impact on civilians. But Norah, he refrained from calling for a ceasefire. In fact, the U.S. vetoed a UN resolution to that effect earlier today. Given that there have now been 11 days of bombing of Gaza by Israel with thousands killed, there is a perception in Arab countries that this looks like the U.S. is treating Palestinian lives differently than Israeli lives.
Well, and also, Margaret, with Gaza in crisis, the looming ground invasion, what does the administration do now?
They have a full plate, and one of the tough questions the Biden administration is putting to the Israeli government is what happens next to the 2.3 million Palestinians in Gaza after Israel ousts Hamas. President Biden warned against a military occupation. He said the Palestinians do have a right to return to their homes, and he's been reaching out to the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to begin talking about a vision here. But in the immediate term, the U.S. is working to help get out 500 to 600 Americans stuck inside Gaza. They're helping Israel secure the release of hostages, including 13 unaccounted for Americans. And Norah, this is a big shift for an administration that wanted to avoid entanglements in the Middle East in order to focus on competition with an aggressive China. But once again, they're forced to focus back on this region.
Margaret Brennan, thank you.